5 shows and 1 new world champion. This is the final FIFA World Cup tonight. Hello, James Sharman beside Christian Jack and Sid Zero. Boys, I just made it back on set on time. That was close, let me tell you. Boys, we're done. Finally, we're done. We survived an earthquake. We survived riots, a blackout, each other. But here we are, day 31.
Last one was
We've got
great.
a new world champion, boys and girls, and what a day it was. What a great finale to a degree.
Yeah, I think the best team ultimately won. I mean, you can never argue with that at the end of the day. The beauty of a World Cup is that it doesn't lie. You know, when that captain lifts that trophy today, they fully deserve to win that trophy, and they are the worthy winners.
Viva España. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. You know, that they were one of the favorites coming in alongside Brazil. The honking's going on behind us. It was an interesting final. It was a final I wasn't really expecting.
Oh. It was a physical final.
A bit chippy.
The most physical game of the whole World Cup.
But it was as intriguing a 0-0 I think you're going to find in all of soccer. It was very interesting.
Yellow's like confetti today.
Yes.
Should we get to it?
Let's do it.
All right, guys and girls. It seems a lifetime ago that South Africa kicked off the World Cup against Mexico at Soccer City Stadium in Johannesburg. But here we were on Sunday back in Joburg for the big one. Someone was going to win the World Cup for the very first time. Someone was going to become the first European nation to win the World Cup outside of Europe. But the question was, who is that someone going to be? European champion Spain enjoying its first ever World Cup final, or the Netherlands hoping it was third time lucky in World Cup finals? John Helm is your commentator.
Perfect evening for football. The World Cup finals of 2010 have come to the boil with the final itself here in Johannesburg. The 64th and final game. The Netherlands are back to what they consider their first team. Gregory van der Wiel and Nigel de Jong have served their suspension to return at right back and centre midfield respectively, with Khalid Boulahrouz and Demi Deseu reverting to substitute roles. But if somebody had said at the start of this tournament they'd go into the final without Fernando Torres by choice, no one would have believed them. But the misfiring Liverpool striker is omitted again in favour of Pedro. History is in the making for either Bert van Marwijk or for his opposite number this evening, Vicente Del Bosque. Spain, remember, began with a goal defeat at the hands of Switzerland of all teams. Now they look for a lead of their own, and the header is good, and the first save of the match is made, and a brilliant save it was from Stekelenburg as well, as Spain goes so close through Sergio Ramos, who can't believe he hasn't got the first goal of this World Cup final. Now they'll spread the play to Sergio Ramos. He'll make inroads here. Ramos will surely go for goal, and good defending from Heitinga, who manages to keep it away. Well, that's another challenge the referee doesn't like, and it will be the first yellow card of the match. The free kick for the Dutch this time, and referee Webb's going to produce that yellow card and show it to Carlos Puyol as well. Oh, and another rather rash challenge, and the Spanish are rushing over here to complain about this. Yellow card shown, Van Bommel. And another foul this time on count by Ramos. Ramos gets the 4th yellow card already. There'll be another free kick. There could yet be another card. We've had 3 cards now for the Dutch. 2 minutes of added time indicated by 4th official Yuichi Nishimura from Japan. Free kick for the Netherlands, and it's a cross there by Heitinga. Puyol responds splendidly for the Spanish. He had to do. It was one of the better moments of the half, which is not yet finished. It's Robben now, fencing for position, and Casillas makes his first save of the match in added time in the first half. Well, it would have given us a little bit more to talk about in this opening 45 minutes, had Robben scored there. He didn't, because Iker Casillas is still one of the best in the world. And there it is, the arm of the official is raised. It is 0-0 in this 19th World Cup final in Johannesburg. And in it goes for Puyol's header, and it just dropped behind Capdevila rushing in. And it is Xavi, and it's over the top. It was a big dipper, which didn't dip enough. Villa really wrapped on the ankle. Heitinga, the 5th Dutchman to be cautioned this evening. But 84,490 were hoping for a better spectacle than this World Cup final. We've got the first substitution of the match, and it is Pedro who is going off. But maybe surprise, surprise, it is not Fernando Torres who is coming on. This is the 24-year-old Jesus Navas. This one's through the middle. It is Arjen Robben. Is this the moment for the Netherlands? Casillas saves Spain. Robben holds his head in his hands and can't believe he's not now accepting the glory. How many times has Iker Casillas, the Saint, saved the Spanish? Jesus Navas now, edge of the 18-yard area. Navas across. Oh, and there might be a chance for Villa here. How did that not go in? On any other night in this World Cup in South Africa, David Villa would now be wheeling away in celebration. The Dutch are going to make a switch as well. They will bring off Dirk Kuyt and they will replace him with El Hierro Elia. It's going to be left to Xavi or Villa. It is David Villa, and it's as disappointing as the rest of the free kicks we've seen tonight. And Xavi and Villa, terrific stuff, but the defender who comes over and does such a good job, he'll only smile when Spain score, like now should have been. Should have been for Sergio Ramos. It was almost identical to the situation from which Carlos Puyol won them the semi-final against Germany. Van Persie with the opportunity to play Robben in. Oh, and Robben, was he pulled back? And for the second time on the night, Arjen Robben is infuriated, frustrated by his own inability to beat Iker Casillas. It's somebody who's coming on now who might change it, with Xavi Alonso being replaced by Fabregas. We are inevitably and inexorably moving towards another 30 minutes. It is Spain who are trying again to find an alternative route with Fabregas, with Iniesta, and in here there are so many. It's Villa. What a scramble. It's like the old school yard. But the eventual shot that came in from Villa flicked away. But when they win it, there's the opportunity to break and to slip Fabregas in. It is Cesc Fabregas, and just as Robben was foiled at this end of the field earlier, so Fabregas is foiled by Stekelenburg. And the keepers are the heroes on this night so far. Come on, the Netherlands. Over the top it goes. Best chance they've created from a set piece, that's for sure. On the outside comes Jesus Navas. Jesus Navas goes for goal! Oh, the crowd around the stadium really thought that had gone in. Cesc Fabregas. All these players are thinking of his glory, and it is Fabregas who is close to it. Super little run from a super little player. The kid is replaced by El Matador, El Nino. The arm across the shoulder of Andres Iniesta. And again it's a red card. There had to be one. There really did have to be one, and it's John Heitinga. It is Sneijder. It takes a deflection, and that deflection took it just wide. Iniesta's in the middle all alone. If Fernando Torres can find him, it's stabbed away uncomfortably to Fabregas. Surely now, Spain have won the World Cup for the first time in history. Andres Iniesta has broken Dutch hearts. The Spanish are desperate to hear the final whistle. There it is, Spain are world champions 2010. History is created in Soccer City. At the 13th attempt, they have finally done it. They have proved the best in Europe. They have now proved the best in the world. And Spain are rightfully crowned the best footballing team on the planet here. The first time it came to the continent of Africa is the time they have broken their duck.
A lasting image right there, and that in a nutshell was the World Cup final. A classic? Perhaps not, but a battle fit for a final? Absolutely. But for the first time ever, European champions Spain are now your World Cup champions as well. Amidst the celebrations, coach Vicente Del Bosque said poignantly, quote, "We owe everything to them, these great players. We have had 50 days without incident. I feel very proud of the players. They also know and appreciate what we have achieved in a group that has great values and principles. This is invaluable for Spain. It's a very happy day for all the Spanish people," end quote. No kidding, a reported 300,000 people gathered in Madrid for an all-night party. And it's a day of firsts for our new champions. As mentioned, it's Spain's first World Cup, the first time a European nation has won the World Cup outside of Europe, the first time a nation has won the whole thing after losing its first game. Spain joined Germany as the only defending European champion to win the World Cup. And how about this? Spain has won with the fewest goals ever and the fewest goal scorers ever. Another one-goal game for Spain. Fellas, it wasn't a classic. It was a nasty, physical affair, but the Dutch went in there with a reason. Let's be physical, let's be borderline dirty, let's get under Spain's skin. And they came within 3 minutes, give or take, of penalties. It almost worked for the Dutch.
Yeah, I thought Van Marwijk's game plan worked to a T. I mean, for 117 minutes, just not 120 minutes. You know, at the end of the day, they were significantly better than Germany. They pressed up the field a lot, and what happens when you press up the field, it doesn't matter who's doing it, whether it's strikers or forwards, you're going to commit fouls. We had a card-happy referee in Howard Webb. Unfortunately, he became a little bit of a storyline in this World Cup. You can't argue with some of these. They are absolutely the bookings. That's just the way they're going to play.
Oh,
this, by the way, is a red card, and it should have been sending off.
Yeah,
I don't know how he got away with it, and you can see when he got his yellow, he was extremely relieved for it. But ultimately, I can't have a go at the Dutch for the way they played. They had their chances to take them in this game. Obviously, they were physical late, and that's what ultimately cost him. I do feel sorry for Johnny Heitinga. That's his first yellow card there. I think it's a questionable yellow card at best. This is a yellow card, there's no doubt about it, which ultimately leads him to become the 5th player in World Cup history to be sent off in a final. That is a shame, and it may have contributed to their downfall, because when they conceded the goal, they were down to 10 men. But I said time and time again, leading into this game, they were going to be given 1 or 2 chances by that Spanish defense, and they absolutely had to take them, and they didn't.
Millions of Spanish supporters around the world won't be getting any sleep tonight. Arjen Robben, I don't think, is going to get any sleep tonight for very different reasons.
Yeah.
He had potentially a World Cup title at his feet a couple times.
Absolutely agree with you. You know, particularly the first one is a wonderful opportunity, and I cannot fault Robben at all here. He breaks away from the defender. He's not going to go around Casillas, because if you watch, the defender comes back very quickly, Capdevila to cover. Iker Casillas, that is a marvelous save. He's gone one way and just saved it and read Robben's mind at the last moment. He was monumental throughout this World Cup, and in that moment, it was his best moment. This I can fault Robben for, because he doesn't go down. It's a foul. Carlos Puyol fouls him, and Arjen Robben, who's known for diving,
He might be the
doesn't
greatest
go
diver in
down.
world football today, in fact. He's been diving all World Cup.
I'm sorry, are we criticizing
match.
Robben for not diving? Am I hearing this
Carlos
right now?
Puyol should have been sent off for that moment. Then Spain would have been down to 10 men, and who knows what would have happened.
You really thought he should have been sent off for that?
He was already down to a yellow card. He's the last man back. He's already got a yellow card in the game.
This is one of the few
It's a
times
foul.
I really disagree with you.
You don't think it's a foul?
No, well, of all the players, and we know Arjen Robben a little bit.
Right.
If he feels a little tug, what is he doing? Normally,
He's going down usually.
he's
No,
out flat.
Normally he is. 15 minutes before that, he's had the exact same chance to put the ball in the back of the net. He wants that chance again.
I may also add,
That's
though,
why he stayed
I
on
will
his
also
feet.
add, it's a World Cup final. He could finish with a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not taking anything away from Robben, but he's got an ego. He's
Yeah.
thinking, man,
Oh,
I
he
can be
wanted-
the man here. I can be the hero
James,
here.
he scored a goal in the final. He was offside. He kicked it.
Yeah.
He spent 5 seconds after it, kicking it in
And
the back
should
of
have
the
got a
net.
yellow card for
He
that.
should have got a yellow card. That's his ego.
Now, listen, I know we're kind of harsh on Howard Webb, and I guess to a certain degree in the first half, he was definitely card happy, but these teams didn't make it easy for him.
No.
Right? They were flopping, they were going in with terrible challenges. I agree, maybe 3 or 4 of those yellows out of the, 14 yellow cards?
Yeah.
Probably were a bit debatable, but overall, I thought he handled it okay.
He did. You know, at the end of the day, it's a thankless job. You know, it's not an easy
They
job.
can't win, can
You know,
they?
the Dutch going out there with a game plan, and the Spanish were no better, by the way. They're in Webb's face every single moment, and they're doing this, asking for cards, which is a bookable offence. I don't really want to talk about the referee. Can we talk about Iniesta? Because the referee, it's a finished storyline.
No.
All right,
we
you know
can't.
what? Let's do that. Because I thought Webb actually accounted for himself after a really tricky first half. I thought
wasn't-
second half he was okay.
Yeah.
Extra time he was good. Let's talk the goal. You know, was it fitting that Iniesta gets this historic goal in Spanish
It is
football history?
fitting, and it's fitting for Del Bosque that it came through the substitute in Fabregas. I thought his substitutes were marvellous in this final, and throughout the tournament, people criticised a lot of times his starting 11s. He realised this is a squad game. Squads win World Cups. They were down to 10 men at the moment. It's very unlucky in a way that Van der Vaart plays him on side, because he's the one who has to fall off balance to clear the original play. He falls on the floor and plays on Iniesta on side, and it's a fantastic finish. You can't. I mean, it's so difficult to smack that in on the half volley at that level, and he's a worthy winner and he's a worthy hero for the Spanish team.
But when Del Bosque looks at his bench and he sees Fernando Torres, Cesc Fabregas, Jesus Navas, Pepe Reina, some of these guys, you know, Victor Valdez, he's got a World Cup bench, and you're right, it is all about a squad. You can't have 11 great players and 23 so-so players, all world-class players. Now, is it fair to say this was the best team at the World Cup? Often you'll see a champion emerge, and perhaps you could argue they're not the best team at the World Cup. I think on this occasion, there's no doubt. There was one great team, and that was Spain.
Well, now they've won it, James. They're not just the best team in the World Cup, they're the best team of this generation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. They won the European champions, and they are well-deserved winners in this. We talked about it earlier, you showed the stats. They're the history makers. You know, only 3 players scored for them. They scored only 8 goals during this World Cup. Led by that man there, Captain Casillas. It's time for their defenders to get the credit. They were once again remarkable. They said to them, you are not going to score on us. They conceded 2 goals throughout the World Cup, just like Italy did 4 years ago. Italy were blamed for defensive football, which was harsh. They will not be blamed. The Spanish will be lauded for what they played.
By the way, later in the show, we got a great clip featuring Iker Casillas, and it just shows the real emotion of what today meant to him and to Spain.
One of the real special moments, I think, of this entire World Cup, it's been on the web a bit right now. We're going to show it to you coming up a little later on. Also, quickly, you mentioned defenders. Could we give Juan Capdevila some love?
Yeah.
One of the most underrated
absolutely.
left backs in world football.
Yeah.
Rob, that was his responsibility today, Rob, and I thought he did pretty well.
And Ramos had his best game at the tournament.
And Ramos late in tournaments is always big. Without question, it's been an amazing month, clearly. Coming up a little later on, we'll take a look back at the last 31 days as only we can. So stay tuned for that. More FIFA World Cup tonight coming up after this.
The Scores coverage of FIFA World Cup tonight is presented to you by Budweiser, official beer sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
You want to swap?
Sure.
Budweiser, official beer sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
When you use Head & Shoulders shampoo and conditioner together, your hair is so soft and free of visible flakes. People will find it irresistible. Head & Shoulders Smooth and Silky Shampoo. 8 out of 10 hairdressers agree that it leaves hair touchably soft. Head & Shoulders. Respect the scalp, love the hair. Recommended by the Dermatology Review Panel.
Switch to the new and improved Swiffer Sweeper Vac, and you may never go back to your old broom. But don't worry, he'll find someone else.
Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Sexy lady.
New Swiffer Sweeper Vac does more than sweep. It has a powerful vacuum to suck up the big stuff and electrostatic dry cloths to pick up the rest. It cleans better than a broom or your money back.
Right now, you and a friend could win a weekend at Kokanee Crankworks Mountain Fest. Find us on Facebook to enter. Must be 19 years of age or older, no purchase necessary.
I love Dr. Pepper. The taste of these 23 flavors can never be equaled, like me. Hey.
What, man? Come on, Mike, man. Nice hit.
There's nothing like a pepper. Trust me, I've sent people to the doctor.
This is your first lesson in shared dreaming.
There's nothing quite like it.
Let's see what you can do. That's more like it.
Inception. In theaters and IMAX, July 16th.
There was a time when tough foods wreaked havoc until the day they met their match. Cascade All-in-One Action Packs. The best of Cascade powder and gel in one pack. Dual forces combine and conquer, sending stuck-on food and greasy messes to a watery grave.
That was easy.
Cascade All-in-One Action Packs. Combine and conquer.
You better run. The Moore's summer sale ends soon. Right now, buy a designer suit on sale and get a second one for only $100. Plus, buy one, get one free on select designer sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. Moore's. Well made, well priced, well dressed.
And welcome back. Here's the final goal-scoring standings in South Africa. Four-way tie for first. Thomas Muller, Diego Forlan, David Villa, Wesley Sneijder, and Andreas Iniesta was not in the final charts. The tie-break, by the way, went to Muller for the Golden Boot because he managed more assists than the other three. Muller was also named Young Player of the Tournament. The Golden Ball for Player of the Tournament went to Diego Forlan. The Uruguayan striker earned 23.4% of the final vote. Wesley Sneijder of Holland was second. David Villa of the world champion Spanish outfit third, as we bring you back inside our FIFA World Cup Tonight studios. All right.
Let's go.
If this is an MVP of the tournament, Forlan's in the running.
Right.
This is best player. It's cut and dry, and I thought they really got it wrong.
I agree, and they got it wrong 4 years ago when Zidane won it, and Fabio Cannavaro, hands down, should have won it. If we're gonna give out individual awards in a team sport, then I'm sorry, you're gonna open yourself up to criticism. David Villa should have won this award.
Clearly.
He carried Spain on his back throughout this competition. Without David Villa and his goals in this tournament, Spain wouldn't have been in the World Cup. Diego Forlan is a nice story, and he was the only player in the World Cup to score 3 goals outside the area. If he should win an award, he should win the Master of the Jabulani Award. The World Cup has had great players in the past: Garrincha, Eusebio, Pele, Maradona, Baggio, Zidane, Oliver Kahn, and now David Villa. All players who have carried their teams on their backs during the World Cup.
Okay, first of all, boys, individual awards mean nothing, right? It's all about the big trophy. It's about the team trophy of the World Cup. However, today, Villa wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. He was somewhat invisible at times because of the nature of the game.
Forlan had an invisible game in the World Cup too.
Yeah, well,
First game of the tournament.
Villa had 1 or 2 other ones perhaps as well in the World Cup. But I'm saying Forlan, without him, Uruguay were not in the third place.
But it's not an MVP
There's no doubt
award.
about it.
Yeah.
It's not an MVP
But
award. This is a very
without
distinguished
Villa, Spain are not in the World
You
Cup
see
final.
what you're doing, FIFA? You see what you're doing? You
You're
make these
tearing us
nonsense
apart.
Actually,
awards
31 days
important,
in.
and we start
While we're
fighting.
at it too, can we not share the Golden Boot?
Yeah,
No, you
please.
can't. You can't share the
In
Golden Boot.
1994,
First off, there's one boot. You can't share it.
Make 3 more. You've got money.
No,
In
it's
1994,
tough economic times.
Stoichkov and Selenko both got 6 goals each and shared the award. What's this nonsense about assists in football?
It's a golden boot,
It's not.
after all.
That's not a stat.
As in scoring boots, right?
It's scoring, not assists. It's a joke.
And do you get second assists in football?
I
No,
don't.
but it could be very important.
It's just give all 4 of them.
Guys, we have an update. Producer Tom, what's that? Okay, what's going to happen next World Cup? LeBron James will decide who gets the Golden Boot. So he'll go on
Lovely,
national
yeah.
TV
Can't
and
wait
make
for
that
that one.
decision. The next
We
decision.
should give Muller some love, though,
Yeah.
as well. I know we have a lot in this World Cup. He was a wonderful story, 20 years old, and he's a game breaker. Now, is he the heir apparent to Maradona and Pele, which is what you think? No, he's not. But he's very, very good, and I'll give him all the credit in the world.
I never
You've
think
never
that.
said such a thing.
What I like about Muller is, and you rarely see this in players so young, how intelligent, and I mean football intelligence here, this player is, and he makes so many better players better around him. And for a 20-year-old to do that, wow, look out, world.
And his first cap was in March.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really is. I want to give the viewers and viewers a round of applause here, by the way. Thank you so much. You were brilliant throughout. You're really important on all platforms here. And the man you've been speaking to throughout the entire World Cup is our personal MVP, most valuable primate, Brendan Dunlop. Tires.
Unnecessary.
What are the people saying?
Yeah, that was a little unnecessary, but people saying a lot, talking about their favorite moments. But of course, it's going to be a great moment on August 3rd here in Toronto, just down the street, of course, at the Rogers Centre, as Wesley Sneijder and his Inter Milan treble-winning side take on the Greek champions Panathinaikos. Again, that's August 3rd. Check out ticket information at ticketmaster.ca. It's going to be a great show. I mean, anytime you get a treble winner in your town, it certainly would be a big event. As for the blogs, our Facebook page, as always, lighting up by you viewers, facebook.com/footy show. That will continue, of course, throughout the footy season. Marco Almeida said that, without a doubt, I love seeing Ji Yun Nam score for North Korea against the greatest team on earth, supposedly, he puts in quotations. Truly was a magical moment. While Brandon in St. Louis wrote into the Hardcore Footy Show, the U.S. comeback versus Slovenia will be remembered as one of the biggest comebacks in American soccer history. Unfortunately, also one of the worst refs ever will also be remembered. And Brendan Ramsey put 3 things. The most haunting memory, Robert Green. The most embarrassing moment, the referees. And the dumbest moment, the Golden Boot. So now I got to ask you guys, your moments of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, listen, fellas, there's so many great ones. But if I can go outside the box a bit here, I remember 4 minutes into England's first match against the States, Steven Gerrard scored a great goal as England captain, and we're in the war room watching this game as England fans, and we are jumping up, going bananas, and that was when the World Cup peaked for me. 4 minutes into the first match for England against the USA, and of course, from there it went downhill. Robert Green's howler, and of course, they crashed out too early from our standpoint. But that was a moment, and it really, to me, epitomized the highs and the lows emotionally of a World Cup. It really did. Outside that, I could remove myself and really enjoy it from a non-biased standpoint. But that was maybe one of the memories I have.
So many images, so many great goals and moments. I mean, I know I'll let you talk about the Uruguay-Ghana. Brazil-Holland quarterfinal will be a game I'll never forget. Just how different it was in the two sections of the 45 minutes. Brazil in complete control for 45 minutes. The plans worked. Dunga once again against Brazil. People back home is getting it right. 45 minutes later, they're out of the tournament and he's fired. So that, for me, sums a World Cup up just in those two games, 2 seconds of halves. It was amazing.
It's a good one. For me, and for the better part of the last 15 years, there has been this anticipation and this pressure placed upon African football. And for Asamoah Gyan to have a semifinal berth, what would have been the first semifinal appearance by any African nation, right there for him, and to hit the crossbar is a moment I literally will never forget. I know the penalty shootout was crazy. The PKs were crazy after, your favorite term. But it is, I think for me, it is the singular moment of this tournament. All of Africa, and really all of South Africa adopting Ghana as their team. And to have that happen, I'll never forget it.
Quickly, while we're on the topic of continents, the Landon Donovan sliding into the corner flag.
Fantastic.
Massive moment for North American football.
And the emotions after that match as well. Yeah. When he's being interviewed and he's crying and it's like, you know what, the game, you mentioned it, it's not arriving, it's arrived in North America.
I agree.
We could go on this topic for literally 2 hours.
Can we get one more hour, Tom?
I don't think so.
No, we
I think they've had enough of us. It was a fascinating World Cup final. What it lacked in goals, it certainly made up for in talking points. Coming up, we'll relive a very interesting 120 minutes between Holland and Spain. That's next. You're watching FIFA World Cup Tonight on The Score Television Network.
The Score's coverage of FIFA World Cup Tonight is presented to you by Budweiser, official beer sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
You want to swap?
Sure.
Budweiser, official beer sponsor of the 2010 FIFA World Cup.
Man, this thing is smunchy. Smunchy? Soft, melty, crunchy. It's smunchy.
I'm thinking Craffelty. Crunchy, soft, melty.
No, it's more about crunchy, chewy, cheesy. How about
Crunchy Wheezy?
I love you.
Awkward.
I love you.
Taco Bell's Cheesy Gordita Crunch. Warm flatbread covered in 3 melted processed cheeses wrapped around a crunchy taco and topped with a zesty pepper jack sauce. Now enjoy 2 for $3.99. Think outside the bun. And don't forget Fries Supreme. Fries Supreme.
You have 15 seconds.